hello. Welcome on into another episode of the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm Will.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Matt.
Today we're going to be discussing Highland Park. We have in front of us their 12-year-old and their Magnus no age statement release.
Alright, Highland Park. One of the best distilleries in Scotland, bar none. Just is. Alright, Highland Park is also the furthest distillery to the north. It is closer to Oslo than it is to London. They have horrible weather. They basically, half their flights and ferries are canceled every day. There's 70 islands, only 20 of them are inhabited. Highland Park was started by Magnus, which of course is what the name of this one's for, back in 1798, which is really, he's illicit still, obviously. Our chicken nuggets are done. Anyway. It's almost in the Arctic Circle. It's near Anchorage, which is basically the same as like Anchorage, Alaska, as far as how far north it is. Basically, the weather's kind of cool. They only go from 35 to 60, which is pretty nice as far as weather. I mean, I think I'd be pretty happy with that. Not freezing, not ever getting hot. I mean, probably rain. Rains a lot. Winds is terrible winds, but so they have 0 trees on Orkney. It's all heather peat, which is this purpley, flowery shrubbery thing. The peat they use is 4,000 years old. Their oldest kiln is over 100 years old. They're also a Viking country. They were ruled from 800 to 1468 by the Vikings, and the last 600 or so by Scotland. They actually have their own flag. They have their own cathedral. They kind of do what the hell they want because, they're in Orkney. And they don't give a crap what anybody thinks. A third of the people there are still Vikings. They've made over 50 different expressions there. They have their own malting floor. It's a really cool facility, and I hope to someday visit it. And it's an awesome stuff. So let's get into the first one is Magnus. So, Magnus is a 40%. He was a butcher, a church officer, a smuggler, and of course he was caught in 1798 when they found it. But hey, a lot of times he would have funerals and hide it underneath the coffin. Nobody checks under a coffin for whiskey. So that's where it was. So this guy was basically a complete badass. So, this is a sherry and bourbon. And it also comes with one of my favorite features.
Yeah, the locking.
The screw top cork. Best freaking idea on a bottle ever. You get the best of both worlds. This is how all bottles should be made. Please, everyone take note. This is how you make bottles properly. Corkscrew and a cork. It's awesome. Alright, so let's get into this awesomeness. Alright, so let's see here. Nose and taste.
It is a single malt.
Yes.
It is
malted
peated.
barley is the first thing on the nose. And
But it's fruity, sweet peat.
The sherry,
the sherry
aspect,
comes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come kind of flying out. I'm getting apricots and nectarines on top of the butterscotch and the caramels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very fruity.
Mm-hmm.
Heather and pears, salty and malty.
I like to
Slight smoke.
point
It's
out
a
the
very, very
color
light
difference.
Between this and the
these
12.
two
Yeah.
as well.
That's a big difference in the 12.
Huge difference.
Oh, this is gold and this is amber. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
pretty drastic color difference in reality.
This almost looks like a bourbon color more than
Yeah,
the
it really
Scotch
does
color.
because of that sherry influence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the way this smells. And hey, best thing is it's like $35 for their intro to this, the Magnus. Just came out maybe 3-4 years ago, something like that. But yeah, I really like Magnus.
Yeah, it's really fruity. It's got a slight peat on the nose. It's not overbearing on the nose.
See, to me, the peat presents itself more in that earthy category than it does
And that
in
smoky, briny vibe.
the smoky, meaty category.
Yeah, it's that heather peat rather than that Isla peat, so
Yeah.
it makes a big difference on what they're using there. Because it's all moss and bogs and stuff over in Isla, whereas this is all that heather bush just decomposing over thousands of years, and so you get a just totally different type of peat. I really like it. Yeah, it is briny, but it's like you said, it's that earthy peat rather than that smoky, meaty peat for sure. Same thing with your pears and it's malty, sweet sherry. This is a really good introduction, I think, to a little bit of peat. For me, it's not for you. You don't like peat.
It's not for me, but here I
love
am
it.
doing this anyway because you guys need to know.
It's nice.
I'd say for $35.
Figs and raisins.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can't beat it.
Yeah, it's a good price point.
It's not horrible, but it's still just not my cup of tea or my Glencairn whiskey.
Yeah, I mean.
But it's not punchy in the face peat. It's not overpowering with that. It does have a lot of floral aspects and the fruity aspects on it that kind of stick out to me.
With this dark, rich, deep undertone. and that's the peat kind of playing in, and those are the things that I'm focusing on, the things that I'm enjoying out of it, are the darker, deeper notes that are just kind of floating along in the background.
Yeah, on that second taste, I get some of that brininess and smokiness on there.
Yeah, it's definitely the second taste. You get a lot of your sweetness is gone. Now you pick up the smoke and the peat for sure.
Right.
It's nice though. I really like it. If you're interested in peat and you haven't really had any, this is a good place to start though. This is not heavily peated. It's nice. I think this is a nice, especially for $35. Some might even sell itself for $30. I mean, you really can't complain.
Yeah, I think
for
this
the
is
money.
the most recommended that I've seen for a beginner to peat is to reach for the
Perfect.
mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Not displeased with this at all. This is a
Water.
nice addition.
Water kind of mutes things. Nothing gets accentuated. The finish kind of shortens. They added a good proof. It was alright.
Yeah, it's fine.
Not a big fan with water.
Thanks for taking one for the team.
I do
Alright.
like him.
Let's move on to the 12. So as you can see, like I said, the color difference is pretty vast. Now, granted, these are the older bottlings, but these are still on the shelf, so we thought it was important to cover them because you can still find these all over the place. There's new ones, and we'll cover the Viking on and all those in a later video. But this one is a Spanish Oloroso sherry cask. It's 43%. Now, this is 20% peated from Orkney, and then the other 80% is shipped in from Scotland, which is unpeated.
Okay. I definitely get that
So
peat on the nose,
sweet.
of course.
So
It is a lot sweeter, and that sherry cask is bringing forward that sweetness.
Yeah, it's really sweet compared to the other one. Yeah. It's malty, floral, honey.
Yeah, this is a lot sweeter.
Like a
Cinnamons and vanillas, butterscotch is
Yeah.
popping out of the glass a lot more.
Sure.
There's a floral component that's coming along with this too. I'm getting like purple flowers, like a lavender.
Yeah, which makes sense, and that's gonna be your heather.
Your heather.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a sugar glaze, some apples, melons.
I'm gonna say if you say so, because I have a hard time getting past that peat.
Oh,
Smokiness.
a gummy bear bag. Like you're supposed to get a bag of gummy bears, and you stick your nose and your face in the gummy bears. It's a gummy bear bag, like those Harbro ones, you know, from Germany.
Those are the only kind of gummy bears.
That's the best gummy bears.
That's why they're the only kind.
It just smells just like the gummy bears. Oh, this would be a good. Oh yeah, because they did that on one show. They compared the. You should do that. Gummy bears and Scotch. I know. Ed did that over on Rocket. It was a good episode.
Palate's really nice. It's a long journey. It's a rich, deep palate.
On the first taste, doesn't taste as peaty as the Magnus does. It's very sweet. That sherry's coming through. I think that's the thing that makes it tolerable for me, is that sherry.
The peach shows up
Yeah, it
like the
does.
burning embers of a fire. So it is sweet. Ripe berries. Ripe honeydew as well. Oh yeah, really ripe honeydew. Like melts in your mouth honeydew. That's
Yeah,
good.
on the second taste for me, it's still, the peat is not as overpowering still. It's still lingering in the background, which, turns me off to it. But I am starting to get some of that, the fruitiness behind that peat.
So you're getting there. All right.
I want to get your hopes up.
We're
But
getting there. It's more progress we made before. It's also nutty, a
I
little.
think-
I think what?
I think the sherry helps a lot. For
Oh,
this.
I'm
I'm
no
a
doubt.
fan of sherry finished whiskeys, so
Oh, well then yeah,
you
of
know.
course you like this. Well, like is a subjective term for you, but
Yes, it's
you like it better than other ones.
it's tolerable.
You like it more than I like. Let's put it that way.
The
Yeah.
drop of water separates oils, elongates the finish. The peat note gets kind of dialed down a little bit. The sweet notes kind of rise to the top and dominate the palate.
Interesting.
Yeah, this for me it's still like a wet, dense bog. There's a lot of salt and pepper on it. But yeah, there's lots of burning embers, and it is peaty at the end. The finish is really smoky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that peat is still kind of lingering in my mouth.
But I really like it. Yeah, it's like a bonfire that's just been put out. I really like this whiskey a lot.
It's good stuff.
So, and it is a little different, I would say, than I think the newer stuff. But if you can find the old one, buy it. I think this is really good. I mean, I think they're like $50 now at most retailers, and they were 40 to 50 somewhere in there. So, but yeah, I think this is a great whiskey. I really like the same thing. So there's a little bit more peat, I think, in this than there is in the Magnus for sure. So I think if you like the Magnus, and that's something you like, I think another good step is to go to the 12. I think it's another good step for you to take. So yeah, I really enjoy this whiskey. So nothing bad to say. It's fantastic stuff. I love Highland Park, but you already knew that.
I like the 12.
Me too.
It's my favorite.
Nah.
Until next time, keep on crusading for better whiskey in your glass.
Cheers.
Cheers. Took everything I had not to just yell, the shrubbery!